Hello, everybody. This is Mike, and welcome to Investing for Fun again. And today is October 13th. Things are starting to get a little bit better, but I want to play for you something that I recorded on Friday evening. Friday was a crazy day, and I have to admit I missed it all. I was working at my store and totally missed everything that was happening at the time. And so when I started to look through actually what I had been recording during the day and how the evening had ended up, I was aghast, to say the least. So I recorded this video that I'm about to play Friday night, and hopefully you'll see some of the devastation that occurred during the day. Things are getting better today, of course. You know, it's Monday, and a lot of people are, well, initially, of course, Mondays, the volatility is crazy, but I'll get into all of that at another time. Here's that video. Okay, I wanted to get this recorded because this is really important. Today is Saturday. The stock market is closed, and Friday was 10/10. Let's mark that as a day in infamy. Apparently, I wasn't watching the news and didn't understand what was happening. And in fact, I wasn't even really paying that close of attention. I do know that in the morning, at about 10 o'clock, I saw that my profit, which is what these numbers are, was up over $2,000 for the first time. I was like, yes, okay. And this is an overall profit. Remember, I'm doing this for fun, right? So it's up over 2,000. I'm talking kind of low because it's early. My wife is still in bed, and I am just trying to get this down. But yeah, there I was over $2,000, and I thought that was great. Later on in the day, I took a reading, and it was at 1779. Well, that's a pretty big drop. I was not expecting that. And then at 350, I saw another big drop, and I got home because I was at the store all day, and now I see that the at 6:30 the stock was down again. It was like totally unbelievable. And I have another part of the sheet here that I know this is kind of confusing, but basically what I do is I take all of my total profit and loss columns, and then I do a calculation as to what actually happened. And if you look over here, this is that 10:05, right? And you can see I still have my big losers that I'm holding on to. But, you know, things were looking really pretty good. And then in the afternoon, look at this. This column, which should be nice and black, is almost entirely red. And the only thing that went up was Pepsi, which is kind of odd. But, you know, things were really going crazy. And then later on, again, a sea of red. And then at 6, again, a sea of red. And it's like everybody's going down. What's going on? And then as I was watching the news, I heard that the president had gotten into a bit of a trade war with China. Obviously, that's been going on for some time, but apparently there's a rare earth metals fight going on. And China is putting tighter controls on what they're allowing us or what they're going to allow us to get from them. And so the president retaliated and has said, okay, he's going to throw 100% tariff on everything coming from China, which was really great news for those of us who own stores that get products from China. And I don't understand him doing that because all the products that he sells, his hats and his Bible and his watches and all those things, they all come from China too. So he's hurting himself as much as he's hurting me. But anyway, watching these things all go down and down and down. And so now they're in this tariff war. But worse than that, Xi is saying, okay, we're not going to send you the rare earth metals that you want. And I was reminded by my wife last night that Trump had made a deal with Ukraine to get their rare earth metals. And he has been pushing to bring rare earth mining back to the United States. And in fact, he has been buying rare earth mining companies like MP Materials. He, a little while ago, bought into Lithium America. And you can see what happened to their stock when he did that. It's coming back down again into a lower range. And apparently he is currently going after Trilogy Metals, which I think is a Canadian company that mines rare earth materials too, which is good because if we don't have the rare earth materials, it makes you wonder, what's the big deal, right? Well, all of those materials are used for doing things like making chips. We can't make any chips, so in NVIDIA and AMD and all those companies that you've been hearing so much about for AI and all the data centers and all that cool stuff. Well, they can't produce, right? And if they can't produce the chips, then the chips can't be made, and chips are used in everything. Obviously, they're being used in these data centers that are being built, but they're also used in cars. They're used in cell phones. They're used in TVs. I mean, we're talking, pretty much everything we use relies on these rare earth materials. It's really kind of amazing when you think about the supply chain for pretty much everything comes down to these things. And so, I mean, some of these are also the producers of steel and aluminum and all those kinds of things. And we know that car companies are already struggling with tariffs on those materials. So I don't know. I think on Monday when the stock market opens, my choice is probably to get into some of these metal companies. I have been looking at them for several days, but I'm thinking I'm gonna have to get in on some of them, and probably, obviously, I'll get in on the cheaper ones because that's what I can afford, right? But oh look, there's a news article. Canada will review Trump's mineral deals carefully. Oh boy, because we haven't been on the best of terms with Canada either as of late. So anyway, I wanted to get this down so that a few years from now we can look back on this and laugh. I don't know exactly what's going to happen from here on out, but we will see. And I am not selling any of my stocks. I know a lot of people bailed out of NVIDIA and AMD and all of the other things. Oh yeah, there's another one here that's kind of interesting, Sophie, because if they remove cloud services, and there's a big problem with cloud services, um, then Sophie Technologies is going to suffer. And that's going to be kind of interesting because they're an online bank. They use cloud services to operate their bank. And if the cloud services are shut down to a certain degree, we could all be hurting. Um, so there's another interesting area. Anyway, like I said, I'm not making any drastic moves. I know some people have. Some of the big companies have bailed out, but I'm sticking in there and seeing what happens, and we'll go from there. So anyway, keep trading, stay happy, and I hope everything is going well for everybody. Bye.